One day, I found completed divorce papers and a marriage license in my husband's room. There are two things evident from this. One, my husband wants to divorce me. The other is he wants to marry another woman. I had suspected his infidelity, but never thought he prepared to this extent. Amidst all this, it just so happened that a business trip for my husband was scheduled. This is my only chance. My name is Karen, and I'm 32 years old. My family consists of my husband, William, whom I married 6 years ago, and our daughter, Sarah, who will turn 4 this year. But when our daughter was born, I switched my work mode to telecommuting. After dropping my daughter at the kindergarten, I work from home. My life with my husband is peaceful without any major disputes. Thus lately, he seems busy with overtime work and business golf outings. You see, our intimacy as a couple has reduced, but I thought I was happy being blessed with a cute daughter. One day, while cleaning my husband's room, I found a receipt under the drawer. What's this receipt? Weighed $3,000. The receipt was from a renowned brand. I was taken aback by the staggering amount I had never seen before. Why would this receipt be here? William is not interested in brands, and moreover, this is a women's brand. After racking my brains, I arrived at a conclusion. Could this be a birthday present from my husband? My birthday is in 2 weeks. It must be that he chose to interpret it in a favorable way, pretended not to notice, and put the receipt back in its place. On my birthday, my husband didn't come home. If he was preparing a present, he should have returned home early, maybe even bought a cake. But my expectations were dashed quite easily. My husband returned home after midnight. Moreover, he smells like perfume. He doesn't use perfume. Could it be? I subtly hinted my own birthday to him. Hey, William, do you know what today is? What's with you all of a sudden? I'm tired, you know. Did you know it was my birthday today? Oh, right. Happy birthday. I was taken aback by my husband's nonchalant birthday wish. Is that all? I asked, to which he made an obvious face of displeasure. What do you mean by is that all? You're over 30, aren't you? We're not an age to celebrate each birthday. Well, that might be true, but I'm going to take a bath and sleep.
I'm gonna take a bath and sleep.
All right.
With that, my husband left the living room. I came to understand that he didn't even feel like celebrating, let alone give a gift, and finally, I was certain my husband was having an affair. That receipt must have been for his mistress. His frequent absences due to overtime and business golf outings were probably to meet her. Thinking about this, sadness and frustration brought tears to my eyes, despite leaving all housework and childcare to me. I can't forgive him for meeting another woman under the pretense of work. Having confirmed my husband's affair, I decided to gather information on the other woman. A few days later, waiting for my husband to fall asleep, I checked his smartphone. The evidence of the affair was quickly found in his chats and pictures. Surprisingly, my husband didn't have just one mistress, but 2. Unbelievable. An affair is already intolerable, but 2 other women. What on earth is he thinking? My beloved man turned out to be such a despicable person. I was deeply disappointed. By this time, my anger toward my husband had surpassed my sadness. I was determined to corner him thoroughly and started gathering information on the mistresses fervently. First, the first mistress. Her name is Mary. According to their chat on WhatsApp, she seems to be working at the same office as my husband. She's in her early 20s, and my husband appears to be her mentor at work. I assumed they grew closer because they had more chances to talk at work. I was utterly disgusted that he couldn't distinguish between work and personal life. Then the second mistress, her name is Jessica. She's a woman in her early 40s, older than both my husband and me. Apparently, they first met on a dating app, but this woman turned out to be a real piece of work. She looks like a beautiful woman in the photos, but she's been divorced twice and has 4 children with her ex-husband. And since finding out about her history, my husband's responses on WhatsApp have become noticeably cold. This Etsy even so. Jessica seems to be in love with my husband, and she sent him this message: "Leave your wife and marry me." I do have kids, but my ex has custody, so it's okay. It's got to be fair. I love you forever, so how about remarrying me? The countless messages like these from Jessica had me recoiling, even as a woman myself. Yet, in stark contrast to Jessica's intense affections, my husband appeared to want to end things with her. The reason was simple. His heart belonged not to Jessica, but to Mary from his office. As the conversations with Mary on his messaging app hinted at plans of marriage, as to him, it seemed Jessica and I were just obstacles in his way. I can talk about it nonchalantly now, but when I first discovered his infidelity, it was a real shock. Despite having our daughter, Lena, the thought of him neglecting our family to enjoy an affair filled me with more anger than sorrow. Considering Sarah's future, I decided to divorce him. I initially planned to demand substantial alimony and child support. However, simply milking him for money and saying bye-bye didn't sit well with me. Tossing us aside and seeking his own happiness after paying us off. I wouldn't stand for it. How should I punish him? As I pondered this while cleaning his room, I found some papers in his drawer. But to my surprise, they were filled out divorce and marriage papers.
Huh. What's this? They're already filled out.
I couldn't believe it. As decent, I knew he wanted a divorce, but I didn't expect him to have papers ready for marrying his mistress. My hands trembled with the papers, my anger simmering. I won't forgive him. I'll use any means necessary to drag him into the deepest pits of hell. Thus, I decided to take revenge on my husband and immediately set about preparing. A few days later, my husband, just back from work, began to converse unusually.
I've got business trip this weekend.
Really? How long will you be away?
Well, a week in Chicago, get my stuff ready, would you?
Sure, I got it. I wasn't sure if he was really going on a business trip, but that didn't matter right now. Such a perfect opportunity didn't come by often. I planted a small GPS tracker in his travel bag. As expected, his destination wasn't Chicago, but Los Angeles. He'd likely gone on a trip with his real love interest, Barry. I messaged Jessica, the second woman, and arranged to meet behind my husband's back. At first, she was suspicious, but when I revealed my intention to divorce, she eagerly agreed. A few hours later, I met with Jessica and spoke to her plainly.
Nice to meet you. I'm Karen. Just William's wife. I'll get straight to the point. We're getting a divorce.
Huh, are you serious?
Yes, of course, look at this. It's the divorce papers that my husband prepared. I've already signed them, and I'm going to file them right away.
I thought I should hand this over to you. As I passed the already filled out marriage certificate to Jessica, she widened her eyes in shock.
Is this...
It seems like my husband wants to divorce me and remarry with you. I thought it would be better to give this to you in advance. That's why I brought it.
Is that so? So he really understood my feelings.
She must have been overjoyed. She didn't doubt a bit and readily accepted the marriage certificate. Surprisingly, Jessica even offered to pay alimony voluntarily and started writing an agreement on the spot. Well, there's no harm in accepting, so I took the agreement and we went our separate ways. I then headed straight to the city hall and submitted the divorce papers without a hitch. Now everything is in place. Actually, all that's left is for me to finish moving out and wait for my husband to return. That day, I was at my parents' home with my daughter. I'd already explained the situation to my parents, but upon seeing me in person, my mom asked me with a concerned look. "I'm fine, Mom. The divorce papers have been accepted and I'll explain it all to Sarah soon. I just need some peace right now. But what about Fair? You are going to talk to him, right?" "Yeah, he's supposed to be back from his business trip tomorrow." At times, the next day, my ex-husband, who had returned from his affair trip, called me in a panic. Not understanding, he blurted out in a ridiculous voice.
So, by the way, you've been having an affair, right?
What the hell are you talking about?
And you want a divorce, right? That's why you prepared the divorce papers, isn't it?
How did you,
So, I was right. Since you wanted this, I went ahead and filed the divorce papers.
Indeed, you'll be paying the alimony and child support for Lena, right? You do have at least that much responsibility, don't you? I said firmly, "Of course, that's the plan. I didn't think you'd notice my affair. But if we already divorced, then there's nothing left to do. I'm willing to pay what needs to be paid."
Well, that's good to hear. As long as you pay the alimony and child support properly, that's fine by me.
Right, yes. Oh, guess thanks for everything. Karen, you're really understanding. I truly appreciate it. Despite having 2 affairs, Mike so hasn't showed no signs of remorse. And yet he had the audacity to try to end our relationship cleanly. I was incredibly frustrated. How was he trying to make things end smoothly after having multiple affairs? Should an apology come first?
So, I decided to expose everything to my despicable ex-husbands.
Oh, by the way, I've also delivered the marriage registration to your new wife.
Huh? New wife?
Don't play dumb. But you know Jessica, who's madly in love with you. She was one of your affairs, wasn't she?
You saw it back in wait a minute. Aaron! You're joking, right?
His voice was shaking so much that I could tell even over the phone. I was struggling to suppress my laughter.
Why would I lie about that? Well, you were having a fun trip to Chicago with Mary. I made sure to deliver it to Jessica.
Hey, hold on. By Jessica of all people. I wanted to marry Mary.
Why don't you contact her? I gave the marriage registration to Jessica a few days ago, so she might have already filed it. OLL.
Delway. That's impossible. Hey, please. I never intended to marry Jessica.
My ex-husband was begging me, his voice full of tears.
Please. Aaron. Help me. I'd rather not divorce you than marry Jessica.
So, what are you saying now?
Jessica is crazy. Oh, she's like a half-stalker. But no matter what I say, she won't leave me alone. She's so persistent.
That's what happens when you meet people on dating apps. You reap what you sow.
Okay. Got it. Tell her marry you. Aaron, KWF said to Darren. So please help me.
What about Mary? I thought she was the one you wanted.
I'll break up with Mary. I realize that you are the one for me. Oh, I won't look at other women.
No.
Puh.
Why should I have to help a piece of trash like you, who cheated while we have a daughter? Do you ever understand your position? You were involved with other women despite having a family. Do you think you can get off with just paying alimony and child support? Are you a fool?
Cam, please forgive me.
Don't call me by my name so casually. I will never associate with you again, and I will never forgive you. I won't let Lena meet you, and if you show up in front of us, I won't hold back or interfere with me and Lena's life again.
After saying that to my ex-husband, I hung up. He kept calling back nonstop, but I never picked up. Later, after our divorce negotiations, it was decided that he would pay a large amount of alimony and child support for our daughter. And of course, I made sure to claim appropriate alimony from his 2 affairs as well. Let him feel the full consequences of laying a hand on a married woman. I heard that right after divorcing my ex-husband. Jessica made a bold move into the house he used to live in with me. It's this blindly in love woman, armed with a ton of luggage, moved right in.
Why are you here? He stammered.
Why? Because we're finally husband and wife, aren't we?
You got it all wrong. I had no intention of marrying you.
There's no need to be shy, sweetie. I received the marriage license from your ex-wife, and I've already submitted it, okay?
But that was Karen's doing.
Don't worry about the details, okay? As long as I can be with you in any shape or form, I'm happy.
Oh, help me.
Asked when he thought his ordeal was over. His hell wasn't done. Not long after Jessica moved in, Mary, the other woman he was having an affair with, barged into the house. And that's when Jessica and Mary met face to face. Instantly guessing what was going on, the two women started a full-on catfight.
Who are you? Why are you in his house?
Who the heck are you? I'm his wife.
Dummy wife? I thought he split from his wife.
He did to remarry me. I don't know who you are or where you came from, but don't interfere with our love.
I can't believe it. He said he wanted to marry me, and he's already registered with another woman.
I was chosen, you weren't. Simple as that.
What? I've had enough.
An exasperated Mary ended her relationship with him. She filed a complaint about his infidelity to his workplace, and my ex-husband was fired. Now, he's working multiple part-time jobs and is barely scraping by, still paying me alimony and child support. His life is tough, and Jessica, his pushy wife, keeps nagging him, earn more money. I still get messages from my ex-husband once in a while on WhatsApp, a messaging app.
I'll probably pay the alimony and child support, so let's start over. I won't cheat on you again. I promise, so come back. I can't handle Jessica anymore. Mary got me kicked out of the office. Help me.
I read them, but never replied. I have no intention of getting back together, nor do I have any sympathy for him. He's getting exactly what he deserves. Let him suffer the consequences of his loose behavior. I'm considering blocking his contact and leaving the rest to my attorney. As for me, I'm living a peaceful life back at my parents' house. My daughter is about to start elementary school soon, so I plan to explain the situation with her father. It will probably be hard for my young daughter to face the harsh reality, because her father has been taken from her. But I intend to explain it to her as many times as necessary until she understands. I'm sure that when she grows up, she will understand. For now, my parents are supporting me. I look forward to enjoying the future happy times with them and my daughter,